Many people are tired, and I don't mean sleepy tired. I don't mean I stayed up too late strolling my phone and searching the internet, or I just need to go to bed earlier. No, I'm talking about the kind of tired that sleep doesn't fix. The kind where you wake up already exhausted, and you haven't even done anything yet. And if we're being honest, this is how it usually goes. You wake up tired, you push through the day tired, you sit down at night tired, and somewhere in the middle of all of that, you start asking yourself, okay, what is actually going on with me? And why am I feeling this way? Because you rested. You may have even slept long and hard. You actually slowed down. You took all the advice. You drank the water. You tried the vitamins. You went to bed earlier. You even canceled plans. And somehow you still feel the same. Nobody really talks about that kind of tired. Now here's what they do talk about. They talk about the hustle. They talk about motivation. They even talk about discipline. But they don't talk about the exhaustion that comes from living in constant adjustment. And here's the truth. It's not complicated. This kind of tired doesn't just come from one thing. It's not just work. I'm sure you know how much you can take. It's not just age. We all age, and there are plenty of people that I'm sure you know that are much older than you who do not feel the way in which you are feeling. And no, it's not because you're lazy, broken, or simply not trying hard enough. And when you know that this is not true about you, don't try to convince yourself that it is. This tired comes from constant adjustment. Adjusting your plans, adjusting your money, adjusting your expectations, adjusting how you show up depending on what kind of day it's going to be. And when life keeps shifting, your body never gets a chance to settle. And bodies don't like that. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how capable you are. And I don't care how much you've handled in the past. Your nervous system still needs stability. People are expected to stay flexible all the time. Be understanding. Be patient. Be strong. Be available. Be mature. Be the bigger person. And listen, none of that is wrong. But nobody tells you what happens when you do that every single day without any relief. When you're always adjusting, your system stays on edge, always alert, always scanning, and always bracing for the next thing. And let's be honest, that's not strength. That's survival mode. And when your system never powers down, do you want to know what happens? Rest stops feeling like rest. And that's why people say things like, I slept all night and I'm still exhausted. Or I don't even recognize myself anymore. Or maybe they even say, I used to have patience and now everything seems to irritate me. People are getting on my last nerve. That's not a personal flaw. That's what happens when your body has been on standby for too long. So let me say this clearly, and I want you to hear it. Nothing is wrong with you. You are reacting to a life that doesn't let you feel fully relaxed. And then you act surprised when you're worn out. And here's the part that people like to skip over as well. The bills are still coming. Yes, they are. The work isn't going anywhere. And yes, people are definitely still going to need you, whether you're tired or not. So telling people to just rest without changing anything else, that's cute, but it's not helpful. A lot of folks think they're burned out because they're doing too much. And sometimes that's true. But a lot of times people are exhausted because nothing ever feels stable. There's always something changing, always something hanging over their head, always something they're supposed to be preparing for. Even when things are good, they don't feel settled. Living like that, it wears people down quietly. You don't crash. You don't have some dramatic breakdown. You just slowly lose your patience, your motivation, your tolerance for nonsense. And then, because you're really good at this, you blame yourself. You tell yourself you should have handled this better. You tell yourself other people have it worse. You tell yourself you're being dramatic. Let me tell you something you probably don't hear enough. Being tired does not mean that you're weak. It means you've been strong for too long without relief. It means you've been holding things together while pretending it wasn't heavy. And that catches up to everybody. No exceptions. The problem isn't that people aren't trying hard enough. The problem is that life keeps demanding flexibility without offering any breathing room. And no amount of positive thinking fixes that. Real relief doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing less of what drains you and being honest about what you can actually handle. And that's not quitting. That's growing up. That's maturity. That's finally listening to your body instead of arguing with it. When people finally understand why they're tired, something shifts. They stop thinking that they're broken. They stop comparing themselves to everybody else. They stop chasing advice that doesn't fit their real life. And they start making decisions that respects their limits, even when that makes other people uncomfortable. Now, does that fix everything overnight? No, but it does stop the constant fight with yourself. And sometimes that alone is enough to make life feel lighter. That's the part that nobody talks about. But it's the truth. And if this makes sense to you, you're in the right place. I'll see you in the next video.